Meeting is being sent to a third party. Okay. I never fucking use it. I used it like once on lockdown and then I just got rid of it. I was just like,
Hey, up, I think we're going. I think
yeah.
it's
How can
uh
you tell?
well, I'm on the app, so and we're both there. I just need to I've opened the chat overlay. Oh,
So
there's always
chat is there. Fancy. Fancy pants.
oh yeah,
I,
proper fancy.
I can't see. Yeah.
No, you might not be able to see the chat, but
I got this.
uh compact mode, yeah. Okay, let's see. I just need someone to
To check.
just check it's actually going.
I wouldn't usually be wearing a vest in the middle of November either. I just got tattooed yesterday and the back of my arm was fucking irritating when I wear sleeves. So
No, you're looking good, mate. Yeah, we're going. We're going.
thanks, man. Yeah.
Hi, mate, we're going. I'm gonna have to monitor.
Sweet.
I'm gonna have to monitor the chat. The chat thing's not quite working here
Oh, really?
on my app, so I'm gonna see about getting my money back for that. But
Yeah,
I'll just
fuck's
monitor it on my
sake.
phone. It's all cool. Yeah.
Are you
So
on your Mac? On your big.
I'm on. No, I'm on my laptop here.
Oh, yeah.
So
Cool.
it's seen some serious action over the last few years. So it's probably like the
It's got some
same.
better. It's got a better camera than mine. The camera on my Mac is so shit.
All right, guys. Well, we'll let a few people join in. 30 people watching.
Well,
Hello, everybody.
cheers, everyone.
Yeah, cheers. Thanks for your support. I'll get that out of the way. Really appreciate it.
Yes. Thanks to everyone that supported
What's been
it.
happening this week? We actually had one conversation earlier this week, me and Matt, just about the reaction after a couple of days to the album and how overwhelmingly kind of positive everything was. It's pretty.
The the
I was
hit number
yeah.
two midweek album.
We
Yeah.
got props. We got
Get out of
props
the
and
way.
everything.
Yeah, of course I have.
Wait a minute, listen, I've got this.
Oh, go on then.
I've got me OnlyFans calendar.
Brilliant.
I like that one. Yeah. So yeah,
Fantastic.
it's been a staggeringly positive, to be honest. Not that we go trolling reviews or anything, looking for negative comments, but it's been
I do.
what's yeah, kind of do secretly kind of do. I
Yeah.
get a little kick out of a negative review, like in a warped kind of way.
Do you know what though? I hadn't really seen a negative one. I think the lowest one I saw was like 6.5 out of 10 or something. Maybe. Was it that?
It's all
Or
right.
seven? Yeah, it's all
Wait,
right, isn't it?
6.5. They're splitting hairs there, aren't they?
Yeah.
Really?
Give us a seven for fuck's sake. What's the
I
matter with
know. Just
you? Yeah.
round it up to a solid 4. Oh, no, it's been so good. And you know what? I was more confident about this album than about any album we've ever released in terms
Oh
of
yeah?
yeah, honestly, like in terms of I just I knew people would like it, and you could kind of tell from the reactions the singles get. So Missing on TV and Night Skies in particular just got such a positive reaction.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I was well happy with it.
Yeah, I did. I'm glad that you went with Missing on TV as the first single. I think that was a good sort of middle ground sort of thing. It wasn't too heavy, wasn't too poppy. Um, because there was talk about all sorts, wasn't there, for the first single, but
Yeah.
and the label didn't want you to do Missing on TV, did they? The first single, if I remember
You know
correctly.
what? I can't even remember what their initial pick was, but I think we all kind of agreed that Missing on TV was a good one to go out to go out the gate with because it's I won't use the word safe because that makes it sound a bit lame, but you know what I mean. It's just a good, solid rock song, with great
Yeah,
hooks. And, it's not going to scare anyone away, But I thought I still think it's actually one of the better songs we've written,
yeah,
ever.
I think, yeah, yeah.
Brilliant, really good.
That was one of the so people don't know, but so I can't remember what day we started on. Was it a Saturday? No, Sunday, loaded in Sunday or something like that, about four
Yeah, I
o'clock
think
or
I think I
something.
think I think we started on over a weekend, like on a
Yeah,
Saturday, and
no,
then had a solid like 10-day kind of chunk
which
from
was
there on.
doing the drums. But we were the first like 3 days, we were just all bashing all the songs out on acoustics, weren't we? And just going through and
Yeah.
seeing what
Mhm.
needed what. And Missing on TV. I can't even remember the chorus that's on the song wasn't the original chorus, was it? Baz had something else, and I remember we were going through it, and I was like, "Don't sing me what you've got." And I hummed something which sounded kind of similar to what was there now,
Mhm.
and then Baz fit his lyrics around it, and yeah, I remember thinking, and that happened like on the first day or something, didn't it? And I remember thinking, okay, this is going to work well because part of the reason that I think that the it's turned out so good is all of you were not precious about anything. Like if anything could be better, we
Yeah,
were all you
yeah,
were all up for
absolutely.
making it better. Like no matter,
Yeah,
no one was too precious about. Oh, it's my idea. This it has to be that. You know, we were just always thinking, how can this be better? And that's a
exactly.
cool mindset to have, really.
And you know what? It was like I think a lot of that is down to, and I've got a bit of a confession to make, really, was
Go on.
down to to how unprepared we were really for the album. Uh, really, in terms of all the songs weren't written for months and months in advance. You
Yeah.
know, it all kind of came together. We sort of went in with 80-90% of the music, but it was all kind of quite fresh from November. We started this in February. We only
Hmm.
really properly started writing in earnest in about November. So that made all the music that we came into you. It was quite flexible and loose. You know, nothing had time to kind of cement itself
But that's
in our head.
perfect though. That was perfect for me because you had enough there to make things work. And again, like the stuff that we came up with, actually, when you guys were here, was probably some of the better stuff. So it worked
Yeah,
really well,
I
didn't it?
agree.
Really.
I agree. I think the writing from start to finish for this album got better and better, and it was almost like we hit a kind of creative sort of flow by the time we'd finished, you know, by the time we'd finished it. So
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
definitely think there's you know, something to be taken away from that. Definitely. Like
Yeah, yeah, and people won't know. So the whole band was that only actually here for 3 days, was it?
yeah,
Was it
yeah,
3 days?
probably.
Yeah, I think it was. And then everyone went home, and it was just me, you, and Alex
Mhm.
doing the drums. But we carried on writing throughout the whole process, didn't we? Oh shit! And we actually came up with Night Skies and Cool Like a Fox, didn't we? In that
Yeah,
period. And what was the other one? All We Got was very different, wasn't it? It was
it
the
was.
intro pretty much that Steve came up with, and then there was like some weird tempo change or something, wasn't it? It was
Yeah.
something that, but I didn't like it, and it was just a bit odd. And
No,
then we scrapped the whole rest of it and just rewrote all of it
yeah,
around that first bit, didn't we?
yeah, pretty much. It was like it was a jumble of amazing bits of music, but there wasn't really sort of coherent to a
Yeah,
song. But yeah, what should we go over this like kind of maybe track? What you were mentioning the
yeah.
start, like so we the start of the process, like you said, it was me, you, and Alex.
Hmm.
Really well after the lads have been in for them few days, and we'd
Yeah.
loosely hashed all the songs together. We
Hmm.
then started recording the drums. I have to say, you got the drums sounding very good very quickly. Like, and I guess is that because you know your room and your equipment because it's sort of your space. I'm guessing it's because you know it so well.
Well, we just it was a bit of both really. The drums themselves sounded great off the bat, didn't they? And
Yeah.
we just spent what a day and a half trying out. We tried a couple of different snares, like three different snares, and we skinned them all, and we just picked the one that we liked the best, and just made sure the toms were really tuned. And I got the Coles, didn't we? The 4038s as the room
Yeah,
mics.
that's right. Yeah.
Um, and there's actually, I ended up mixing. I haven't told you this before. That that there was so much of the room mics, and there is so much of the room mics in the mix. I think it was Cool Like a Fox when I was doing that. I was like, fucking hell, the
Oh, that'd be
toms are
fun.
really loud. And I could mute the toms, but they were that loud, you can just hear them on the overheads. But it was like a
Right.
mixture of the overheads, the rooms, and the close mic sound. Like it's
Yeah.
like a combination of all those three, which I don't usually do because I usually do like punk stuff, right? Like pop punk and all that sort of stuff. And that's usually very sort of clinical and very close mic stuff. But for
Yeah.
your sort of stuff, like more stadium, bigger stuff, the room mics are way up there. And I think, yeah, it's all those things combined, really. But plus Alex is a fucking good drummer, always helps. He is. And he was good as gold, by the way. Like Free and Easy was the first song that we tracked, wasn't it? The drum wise. And that was actually the first demo that you sent. The first one I listened to, you sent a bunch, but that was like the
Yeah.
labeled number one or whatever. And I don't know if it was programmed drums or it was like a live thing, but obviously it was, just written and all the rest of it. And we spent a while, didn't we, going through and like adding in all the, little things like the da 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 da, just
Yeah.
like the simple shit like that. And I kept on referencing Def Leppard, didn't I? Like, just don't
Yeah.
you don't need to fall down a fucking staircase when you're doing a build, just do it.
Yeah.
Do it,
Just
do
yeah.
it simple sort of thing.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was really fun, yeah, doing the drums. And yeah, they do sound great. I think the drums sound awesome.
And
That's really good.
that was so like to still be in the creative zone at that point
Mm.
when the drums are sounding that good and it's like and it's almost like it's without sounding too mushy and hippie, but it was like inspirational
Yeah,
to be
yeah.
like when the drums were just sounding that good, it was like try this and it would sound great and you'd be like yeah,
Yeah.
it's really just great rather than a kind of you know
We'll fix it later sort of thing.
rough
Yeah.
mix it later sort of thing. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
it sounded fantastic. Yeah, really
I
good.
think that was kind of the ethos on everything really, wasn't it? I mean the guitar sound we got in about half an hour, didn't we? We're just like
Yeah,
I dialed in what I thought would usually work on there because we used the JCM 900, didn't we? The
yeah,
my one that well, we did a shootout, didn't we, actually? It was the 800, the 900, and what was it? The JMP one, wasn't it? The
yeah.
Steve's one. And they were all very similar, to be fair, weren't they? But we just thought that the 900 was slightly more modern. But yeah, anyway, I put in the settings that I thought, and then Steve was like, "Why don't we just put it on the clean channel and whack it up to 10?" And
Mm,
that's what it was. So that
yeah,
all the guitars were actually done on the clean channel, just
yeah.
with the gain up to maximum.
And you know what? It sounds it sounds almost like a combination of modern and vintage at the
Classic,
same
yeah,
time. You know what I mean?
yeah,
I mean, I think I was just making the cups of tea at that point because Steve's like the Marshall whisperer,
yeah, yeah, exactly, man. Yeah, yeah,
and
yeah, definitely.
and obviously you knew your business with the mics and all that, and it was just like yeah, so it just sounded great from the off,
Yeah, definitely.
and spend the time thinking about the arrangements and those bits of songs that make the transitions different and pop out and all that kind of stuff. It's much more worthwhile spending the time on those sort of things.
Yeah, definitely. That was the initial phone call that I had with you. Do you remember? After we chatted first, and we're like, let's
Yeah,
have a chat. You said that on the previous album, or maybe the previous two, that you'd done with the same people, right? That you spend like 3 days testing out a million guitar heads and
yeah, we'd
all this,
spent
and you're like, I can't be fucking bothered with that. I was like, well, sweet, I can't either. He's like, if just get a good sound and go with it. So yeah, I was like, yeah, we're on the same page. But yeah, we did. We definitely concentrated on. I said to you as well, like the production could be as good as you want. It could be the best production you've ever heard, but if the songs are shit, it's meaningless. Like it literally doesn't mean anything. And we were on the same page with that. I'm just like, let's just get the songs as good as they can, and then that's 90% of the work done. It makes the rest of it easy, to be honest. And just we just kept it simple, to be honest, didn't we? There wasn't really any on my part anyway. There wasn't any overthinking anything or
no,
anything
no,
mad. The only thing that we did do slightly differently to what I would usually do is we stuck one of the coals right at the back of the room, didn't we? The opposite side of the amp. And so
the
that's what you
guitars,
hear
yeah,
on
yeah,
like the yeah, yeah, yeah. So like as a room effect. It wasn't throughout the whole, it was only on certain bits like the beginning of Sleep Forever and Missing on TV is like a mixture of the room mic and then
Yeah,
the close mic. But when the whole band comes in, the room mic gets dropped out, and it's obviously close mic because it would just sound a bit shit and washy otherwise. But yeah, that added like another like cool texture. And again, it was the we was I sort of wanted it to sound unique or like different sort of thing. And I think it does. Like that, I mentioned to you on your two previous albums. They sound great and everything. They sound good, but it kind of not that you sound like every other band, obviously, because your songs are different and you've got your own character. But sonically, it was quite similar to a lot of other stuff. And I think that the way that Earth to Grace turned out, it does actually sound really different, and it's very like I took virtually all the compression off. It's like there's like nothing on it at all, like
yeah,
mix wise and stuff. Which is quite a ballsy thing to do because like all modern stuff's really compressed as shit and it
yeah,
sounds really exciting and stuff, but yours just sound like a very good live band playing with a bit of polish, and that was
yeah. Well,
kind of it, wasn't
like
it?
a lot of the comments as well for people have been very complimentary about the production. Probably don't realize that's what they're hearing. You know, that makes it sound different. It's like a
Yeah,
an under processing, you know,
yeah,
relative to most modern rock kind of productions.
absolutely.
It's
Yeah,
very,
yeah.
very, I won't say sparse, you know, because but there wasn't much. There's not much like there's one guitar left, one guitar right for rhythm,
Hmm.
and you know bits come in during the chorus and that, but it's very easily replicated live with just two guitars, and it's not. It doesn't
Mm,
sound a million miles away from what's on the record, and
yeah.
it's great. I love that. I just love that approach because you can hear things in the guitars in particular, really, that were like not mistakes, but you know, like sort of like a few scratchy kind of
Yeah, but I like
movements.
that.
Yeah,
That's cool.
exactly. Yeah,
That's
yeah.
what makes it human, right? You know, on like on the guitar solo for well, it's not really a solo, it's more of an instrumental thing, but on Missing on TV, like there's like a bit of noise before the solo comes in and that. And I remember I sent a mix to uh a guitarist who was the original guitarist in the band called Sleep Token, actually.
Oh
Who we're
yeah,
doing all right at the
I've heard
moment.
of him.
Um yeah. But yeah, he's an amazing guitarist. But I sent him, I was like, dude, what do you think of this? And he said, yeah, sounds great. I don't know about the scratchy bit at the start of the guitar, and I was like, well, I like
That's
it.
it.
So
Yeah, well,
I'm keeping it. Yeah.
well, you know,
It's just preference, isn't it? I suppose. I know.
exactly, and yeah, wanting it to sound like a live band in a room, you know, that's a cool thing.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
So yeah, after we got the drums done, it was then a bit of a sort of there wasn't like a set routine with like all the bass, all the guitars, some vocals. It kind of all of that was like a rolling thing, wasn't it? We'd get
Mhm.
some guitar. Well, I think me and Steve spent quite a while getting a good chunk of the rhythm done. I
Yeah.
seem to
Yeah.
remember spending like a week with Steve down in Kidderminster.
Hmm.
Uh, a lot of curries. Um,
Yeah.
bloody
Went to the
cold
pub a
as
few
well.
times. Yeah, it was
We did
cold.
go to
Yeah.
the pub. What was it? What was that pub? The Orchard.
Oh no,
What's
what was
the
it fucking called? The Land Oak.
The Land Oak? Yeah,
Yeah.
I knew there was a
Yeah.
tree involved.
Yeah. Yeah, that was it. Yeah.
I actually kind of I know Kidderminster. Well, to be honest, you could pick any town in the UK and go, "Oh, it's a right dump," or you know, a lot of people would say, "Oh, X, Y, Z is a shithole or whatever." But
Yeah.
I really like Kidderminster. Actually, I
I
thought it was.
like it a lot, man.
I
Yeah,
thought
yeah. I
so.
mean, I'm from Surrey originally, as you can probably tell by my accent, from down south. But I've lived in Woking and Guildford and some of the most affluent places, you know, around. But I prefer it in Kidderminster, fucking by a million miles. I just like it.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
a poor like working town, sorry, working class town. But yeah, I just like it. Don't know why.
yeah. I thought it
It's
was
weird.
good. Some good, like I said, some good Indians. It's got an Aldi, you know. We're
It's
simple
got two
folk.
actually.
We've got two Aldis.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. There's
I'll
another one over the other side of town.
I'll
Yeah.
check the other one out sometime. But yeah, we just you know, it was I liked that aspect of it as well. Um, you know, every album's been a different experience. We've been at different places in that. The last couple of albums before this one, we were quite secluded, which I liked that at the time. You know, I
Hmm.
liked being out in the middle of a farm in the middle of nowhere, um, for weeks, and it was kind of nice.
Yeah.
This time round. it was nice to be in a bit of a civilization and not far from the motorway, and it
Hmm.
it was good. I just really liked the that side of the experience as well, which does make a difference because if
Yeah,
you're miserable and uncomfortable while you're doing something, like this creative, more often than not, it's going to have a negative effect on the process. But
yeah, exactly. Yeah,
this is great.
that was another thing as well, wasn't it? That sort of appealed to you. You said on the phone because people may or may not know some studios do. Well, all studios do different hours and stuff, and quite a lot like to start at 11 and go until like 11 at night. But I do like 10 till 6 pretty much because for a couple of reasons. One, because I've got a missus and dogs and all the rest of it. I don't want to be working till 11 every fucking night and just going to bed and all the rest of it. But after so many hours, especially editing and looking at the screen and stuff, by the time you get to sort of 7 8 hours, I'm regardless
Yeah,
of the band, I'm flagging anyway. And then the few times that I have worked like later shifts and stuff like that, you end up getting a little bit sloppy and letting things go, and then you listen back in the morning and think, fucking hell, what am I doing and all the rest of it. But yeah, so we did like pretty standard days, didn't we?
yeah, yeah. What just like I think that wasn't one of the things that sort of said to you on that initial
Yeah, yeah,
touching base thing, that we were looking for that because we've done all kinds of hours, and inevitably when it's a very loose residential kind of situation, the day always skews towards like you might start at 10 and finish at 6, but then by the end of it, it's gone like that. And then you're starting
yeah.
at 2 o'clock and you're going till about 11 or midnight. And then
Yeah. The
it's
thing
not
is, like,
good.
no, it's not, man. And like the tighter, like I just said before, the tighter you get, you sort of lose focus, and yeah, I don't know.
You get that
Yeah,
kind of,
not a fan.
okay, that'll do kind of
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Let's just get it done, and yeah,
yeah,
which
go to
isn't
the
good.
pub.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
But yeah, well,
yeah,
that's the
definitely.
real reason why you finish at 6, isn't it, though? It's
Of
so we
course.
can
Yeah,
get
go to the
few
Lando,
hours.
and you can beat me at pool.
Yeah. But yeah, any question? I was going to say, like, any questions? Going, there has been a few come in.
Yeah,
Someone did ask about the guitar amp. Well, you've got your answer now. It was
yeah,
JC 900.
900 JCM,
For,
1993, I think it was 1994. Yeah, one
it was
that I've
quite
got
an
on.
early one, 50 watt. It's a 50 watt, isn't it?
50 watt, yeah, yeah. One
I
that I actually got off of, this is about 15 years ago, off of eBay. I got a head and a 2x12 Marshall combo for like 300 quid or something ridiculous. I
Unbelievable.
had to drive to Dover to go and pick it up, but I was like, yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah, I've used it on a bunch of albums, like used it on Death of Banner record and some other stuff. But yeah, it just sounds really good.
You know what? They're like over the summer we've done a lot of festivals, and
Mm,
it's you're either going to get a JCM 2000 900 or sometimes an 800.
yeah.
But I was actually hoping for 900s this time, when you turn up
Really, yeah.
and you're getting a Marshall backline, and you can make them all sound decent, but I was like, oh, I hope it's a 900. Whereas in the past, I kind of always had the opposite. It was like, oh, it's a 900, but
Yeah,
I think it's how you use them. It
yeah,
really is like, and like you said, the clean channel dimed, and if you need a bit more, stick an overdrive, a tube screamer in front of it, and get it that way rather than having one thing running at 10. Do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean, you're right. You couldn't really do much in terms of lead, especially when you're on the clean channel, even though the gain's all the way up because there's not really much there. But
sustain.
no, exactly. But yeah, I mean, the 800's probably a little bit too classic. Is that the right word? Maybe.
Yeah, it's a little bit shred 80s kind of.
Yeah.
I like 800s, but they're very
Oh, well,
bright,
yeah.
aren't they? They're very I don't know. I think I just like you said, we did the shootout and we didn't spend too much time, and we did it
No,
blind as well, and we were like and unanimously everyone was picked the 900. So
we do. Yeah, we literally recorded the first. What was it? Uh, 10, 20 seconds of free and easy, and we just did one, two, three, and then just went. just listen to what, yeah, and we all picked the same one, didn't we? So pretty
Yeah,
easy.
yeah, it's brilliant. I was going to do a quick shout out to the if you haven't got the album yet, which I'm pretty sure most of
If
you
you're
will.
watching it,
If
you
you
probably got,
You
yeah.
probably got it, but if you haven't, or you know someone who hasn't got it who might like it, then give them a shout, give them a prod. It's available now for 4.99 on iTunes
Or if you
or
have got it and you've only bought a physical one and you fancy helping us out and spending a fiver, that'd be amazing.
yeah, go on. That
Yeah.
you know, pints at the Land Oak are a fiver, so
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
it's a pint at the Land Oak. That's what
There you go.
be spending. Yeah, but thanks again, though. Really appreciate the support. We do have a question here from Simon Thackeray, uh, for Matt. Which song did you spend the most time on, or was the hardest to perfect? And which one? Oh, yeah. Which one did you spend the most time on, and which one did you spend the least amount of time on? So I'm guessing it probably means mixing here, but
Well, I'll go one further than that. Production wise, it was Night Skies because we wrote it on the fly, didn't we? So,
Mhm.
um, and we ended up doing Gaga. Okay, so the whole thing's clean, right? The whole verse is clean. And do you remember we recorded the whole thing with the 900? And then I was just like, you know what? Let's use the fucking Rockman. So we scrapped all of that
Oh yeah,
and
we
then
did.
did it
Yeah,
all
yeah.
on the Rockman again, didn't we? Um, and then yeah, I mean, I was even adding stuff while I was mixing because you guys went away. Um, here's a little fun fact. Um, we were actually at the Land Oak one night and we'd just done the majority of Night Skies, and I remember thinking it needs a lead lick, which is the da 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 da. And I just thought of it. It just came into my head, and I hadn't turned the studio off, so I got in from the Lando pissed. Uh, Came in and just recorded it as a guide on my Kemper. Played it to you guys the next day, and you liked it, which was cool. And thought, okay, sweet. And then we did a version with the 900, but it just didn't quite cut it. So when I mixed it, I ended up using my pissed version, very heavily edited. But that's the version that you
No.
hear on the thing. Again, you're a fucking million times better guitarist than me, but it was just like a vibe thing. I don't know what it was. It was just kind of weird, but
You know what? I've actually told people that because
yeah,
I said that I've already said to a few people that's Matt playing that. But
badly, but
well, no,
edited to shit.
no, you're right though. It's like it's probably one of them that you play it and you played it that time and it just sounded it had it. You know what I mean? It had
That was it. Honestly, yeah, I could play that
something
another
that
10
sounded.
times and it wouldn't
Yeah,
be as good
it
as
wouldn't
the
sound as
way
good now.
I need to get pissed at the Lando and record guitar more. I think that's the moral of the
You know,
story.
that's more production
But
tips
yeah,
next week.
yeah, exactly. Mixing wise, I don't know. I mean, I did I didn't know what to do with the mixing. This is another thing we can talk about. So the first few versions of stuff that I sent, I can't even remember what song I did first. I think it was All We Got and Missing on TV, maybe. I can't remember. But I sent a few versions over and they were really compressed as shit and hyped and they sounded really exciting and stuff. And they were like, yeah, this is wicked. But I ended up changing that completely on the final one. And just basically it was mainly between sort of geeky thing, having auto release on and auto release on the quickest setting. And again, there's no right or wrong, but I ended up using it on the auto and just literally backing it off so there's virtually nothing on it. Which again isn't as exciting or hyped and stuff. But the thing is, if you hype up and compress a mix that much, whenever it gets played on the radio or streamed or TV, especially, it goes through another broadcast compressor and it gets squished and squished and squished, and so
Even
it
more.
just
Yeah.
sounds smaller and smaller. Whereas your stuff, from times I've heard it on the radio and stuff like that, it sounds fucking like open and big because there's virtually nothing on it in the first place. The broadcast compression doesn't
Yeah.
slam the shit out of it, and it's just yeah, it still sounds good.
There's
So
headroom, isn't
yeah,
there? There's a
yeah,
and
exactly that.
also we'll get to the mastering and all that later on,
Yeah,
but it's again just sticking to that kind of keeping it open, keeping the space in the song where like in the verses were a bit I guess, you know, less going
Sparse.
on, small
Yeah,
sparks, and then when the chorus is hit, bang, it gets bigger, and
yeah,
these are things that like I listen to modern productions all the time, and I always think like it's just too much. It's
yeah.
too like a sausage all the way through,
You're exactly right. Yeah, and if you look at your stuff, like on a WAV form, like you just said, during the verses, you can see the peaks, and then
Yeah.
it is limited, obviously, on the
Mhm.
choruses. But that's the way you want it, isn't it? That's
Yeah.
dynamics, and that's the way. And again, a lot of modern stuff, like you said, it can get quite fatiguing to listen to when it's like really
Yeah,
slammed to
definitely.
shit. And like I don't look like super loud, super compressed stuff like that. I just, yeah.
No.
All the stuff that I grew up listening to, and you're the same, like, all the 90s stuff and it wasn't like that. And
Yeah,
yeah,
well,
that's just,
it's a taste thing, isn't it, really? And
yeah, it
that's
is.
kind
Yeah.
of when it comes to, I guess, choosing a producer and things from a band's point of view, you kind of look at, well, what I and we look for is really their taste rather than equipment or
Mm.
it's like the philosophy really of it all, and it just seems
Yeah.
to work with uh with our songs. It just seemed to work really well.
Well, when I came to the flat that you were staying in down the road before we went to the Lando, obviously. And we were just putting on YouTube, listening to all the 90s stuff. We all like the same sort of shit, didn't we? Like, like even stuff you hadn't necessarily heard of, like Delamitri and all the gym, like all
Yeah,
that 90s stuff. Just fucking. And again, I kept on reiterating it again and again, didn't I? They're just good songs.
yeah,
It's all about the song. Like production is, if it's good on a great song, it's great. If the song's crap, doesn't matter. It
yeah. You're right.
literally
Yeah, that's
doesn't
it,
matter.
exactly. Yeah, you got to get the song right.
Yeah.
Another question.
Hmm.
Ah, it's not really. Well, it can indirectly lead to you. Jan Hepner asks why Earth to Grace is a name. Now, that
I don't know
wasn't
because I
any.
didn't want to call it that.
I know, I
Did
know.
I?
What did you
I
want to
like
call
it
it?
now, by the way. The what?
No, yeah, I know, yeah. But what? Because you can let people know what the kind of working title was
Oh,
going to
right. Okay.
be.
The working title was going to be seven, right? And there's a couple of reasons for that. One, because it's my lucky number, and two, because we were changing the band style up a little bit. I didn't want anyone to take it too serious, and I was worried about having like serious names, serious artwork, and blah blah blah. I
Yeah, I
didn't want it to
agree.
be like that. I wanted it to be like almost a neutral
Hmm.
thing, and that kind of ticked that box. But and like even with the artwork, I remember when Baz sent it through, and I was like, "Oh, I don't know if it's taking itself too serious because it shouldn't." But I love it now. I absolutely fucking love it now, and I was wrong, and the way it turned out was great. So yeah, ignore me.
No, you know, but I had I liked Earth to Grace as a name. I kind of liked that it sort of it ticked the neutral box in the way that it didn't draw your attention to any one song in particular or anything like that.
Even though it's a very tiny bit in Night Skies, obviously.
It
But
is.
yeah,
I don't know what it means. You're gonna have to ask Baz
I fuck
because I have
knows.
no
Yeah,
idea.
I don't
I don't know
know.
what it means.
No idea.
Yeah. But it's whatever. After a time, it stops meaning anything and just becomes like the label for
Yeah,
that.
it does. Yeah, yeah, you're right. Yeah, yeah,
But yeah, so it was going to be seven, yeah, for
yeah.
the almost the entire process, and then I can't remember what happened, but it just I don't know. It got
I got sorry, I got an email off of Digby because he was after the two songs that weren't finished. Um, and he said, "Oh yeah, sorry for the delay. The band have changed the fucking title 4 times." I was like, "Right, okay."
yeah.
Yeah, so there was two others as well, presumably. I
I
don't know what
think
they were.
you know what I think Rabbit Hole was talked about for a bit, but
Oh,
then
that was it. Yeah, 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 that was it. Yeah, I
that
said that
would
was a bad idea because that would essentially make that song the title track, and that shouldn't. I don't think should be the title track. Great song as it is.
probably not. No.
No,
Yeah, you couldn't have picked you probably couldn't pick any song from the album
no.
to be less appropriate for a title track than that one. That's not. I love the song, but it's not.
Yeah,
It's an angry song, isn't it?
I always think it's kind of lazy when an album's named after a song as well. I don't know why. It's just, and again, it makes it the focal point, and I don't think you should. I think you should let the listener think what is the focal point of the album, not the title.
You know
I
what?
think.
That was an angle that I'd never really appreciated before until you brought that up, and
Yeah,
now I completely agree that's it's not it's a disadvantage to draw too much attention to one song in particular.
of course it
So
is. Yeah.
a really
Oh,
good
well,
point.
I had this conversation with Baz again about Cool Like a Fox, and I don't think it should have been called that. It was actually called Oppenheimer for anyone that's interested, the
It
whole
was,
working
yeah.
title, just because we wrote it to be the opening song on the album. And then I don't know who came up with Oppenheimer, but that was written on the tick sheet, which is in the other room somewhere.
I think it was Oppenheimer because it was. I think that was what the
Yeah,
joke was.
because it was going to be the opener, right? Yeah,
Open.
exactly. Yeah, yeah. Oh, sorry, Oppenheimer. Of course it was. Yeah, sorry,
Being
my
being the
bad.
witty bastards we are,
Oh, yeah,
we thought
exactly.
it would be hilarious.
But yeah, I said to Baz, I don't know about calling it "Cool Like a Fox" because that's going to draw the attention to that line, and that isn't particularly the most hooky line in the song.
Mhm.
That was my reasoning behind it, and then, but yeah, he fucking did it anyway, didn't he?
You know what? I was suggesting cup half full or something, which is kind of a more of a hook. But yeah, I don't know. There really did come a point when it's like the masters. This stuff needs to be imprinted into the song, so you need to pick a
You got to
name
make your mind up. So, yeah, exactly.
and
Yeah,
and
yeah, yeah, I get it.
yeah, that's above my pay grade. If I'm honest, I just sort of bury my head in the
There's
sand.
something in the song anyway, isn't there? I suppose that the title's just a tiny bit on the side, isn't it? I guess I don't know.
Here you go. Here's a question. What from Stephen Wolf? What is the highest chart position so far of an album you have produced?
Three
Three.
behind fucking Adele and James Morrison. That was an album by a band called Unit 6 called Sinners Never Sleep. So there you go.
Well, until tomorrow. I'm
Till
only joking.
tomorrow. Yeah. Well, yeah, fingers crossed.
Well, we'll see. But yeah, that's a great album. It's fantastic. They've got some
Oh, thanks,
amazing
man.
songs. Yumi at six, and you know what? I was always aware of him, but it's like a different circle of rock,
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, yeah.
but there's quite a lot to be learned from bands like that. Like it's almost what the evolution of pop punk became. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, yeah.
Is it almost
Yeah.
like the next generation of those bands? And
It's
I
definitely
really,
more on the pop than punk, I suppose. It's
yeah,
sort of like pop rock light sort of thing, I guess, maybe.
yeah, but
Um,
I mean, you could
not in a bad way, not in
no, but you could take any a band could take those songs and punk them up a bit. Do you know what I mean?
Mm,
Or easily because, like you said, a good song's a good song. So,
yeah, yeah.
and they are
Yeah,
great.
you
They are great
you can
songs.
choose to present it in any genre that yeah, any genre you want. Yeah,
Here's a question from Ad Brealey. Bowers has an awesome bass solo on Whatever Makes You Happy. I wouldn't necessarily call it a solo,
but
Ad. Yeah. What was the
yeah.
thought process behind it?
Well,
Um,
that you guys wrote it, and I just put some. I don't even know what effect I put on it. It was something fucking weird. It was some sort of
Ready?
phasery. Go on.
It was it was just what I did on the demo. I
That
just
was
did
it.
it on
Yeah,
the
yeah.
demo and made it through to the end. But the effect you used was a CLA, a Wave CLA plugin.
Yes, it was. Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
and the preset was called Mr. Wide because I
That was
thought it
it.
looked
That was
like
it. I forgot about that. Yeah, shit. I
and
completely
and
forgot.
and another because like to what right at the end of the process we then dotted that effect on
On the vocal, wasn't it, for Sleep
the
Forever in
vocal.
the verse? Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Forever. It's the same effect that's on the verses of Sleep Forever. So
I
there you
completely
go. So,
forgot about that. Thank you. Yeah, usually I completely forgot about that. Yeah,
no,
yeah.
because
True.
it's such a great sound. It's like well, as the name would imply, it makes it sort of 3D kind of wide
It's like
effect,
chorusy sort of thing, isn't it? Yeah.
but it doesn't make it sound sickeningly 80s, which most
No.
chorus kind of effects, I
Mm,
think, in my opinion, do. I think you've got to be really careful with chorus before it
yeah.
turns you into you know, I don't know, Kenny Loggins or something.
Yeah, yeah.
Stephen Hall is asking, where are the boys?
The boys, they're in the house. Yeah, they're
Oh,
up in the house with the missus,
yeah. Keeping them out of the way.
keeping them out of the
They won't
way.
be. They
Yeah,
won't, we're referring to the dogs there,
yeah,
by
the
the way.
dogs. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Max and Sam, about that big. Sam's your favorite, isn't he? Obviously.
Yeah, Sam.
Yeah,
He's a good lad, is Sam. Yeah,
yeah,
good emotional support when times were getting tough.
yeah. He was. Yeah.
Um, Daniel Warnock, Needles and Hay, great song. Where did it come from, and did it take much work for mixing? Well, I
There you
can
go.
answer
So over to
that.
you because I didn't do that.
That was one that we were gonna do in this with Matt.
Yeah, we ran out of time, didn't we? Yeah.
Ran out of time, we just recorded it in a day in this room in this studio. Um,
Embarrassingly enough, I still haven't heard it yet. I will listen to it tonight. I promise. I haven't got around to it, but yeah.
you're in no threat, mate. Anyway, it was deliberately made to sound. If anyone's a Van Halen fan, there's
Yeah, I remember you saying, yeah.
quite an obscure Van Halen track called um, "Could This Be Magic?" I think it's called "Could This Be Magic?" It's on Women and Children First, and it's obviously just the band sat in a room. Someone's playing an out of tune acoustic, and they're all just crooning and singing along and laughing and joking, and it just sounds like they're having a ball. That's kind of the approach that we took to Needles and Hay. We wanted, and it is. That's what it is. It's basically just me playing an acoustic with a. I think it was a podcast microphone I used to record and it sounds, rough, and that's kind of the intentional meaning. And there's a big gang chorus, and yeah, it was just that really, something to tag on. It was always going to be in the bonus edition. It was never going to make its way onto to the the Big Boy album. So
The big boy.
um, yeah, a few more. So anyway, like so after guitars and bass and all that, there's also been a lot of comments I've seen about how good Baz sounds on this album, and was there a because I wasn't there really for much of
Now,
that deliberately, because I think the last thing you need when, especially with vocals, is someone another opinion chirping away. You
hmm.
know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah.
I kind of stayed out of the way when it came to that. Um, was there any premeditated approach that you wanted to take when it came to the vocals on this one, or
I'm sure I told you before. With your other albums, the vocals have been not buried, but they're not to the forefront, are they? Really? And I thought, if we're gonna fucking do this, let's just fucking do it properly. And I always wanted the vocals to be right in your face, which they haven't been, I don't think, on any of the other albums of yours that I've heard, like in the way that I did them anyway. But I
yeah,
just I worked Baz fucking hard actually, and I wasn't harsh on him, but we did a lot of takes for a lot of things, and he was learning stuff on the fly, and we were changing bits and this, that, and the other. But he was good as fucking gold. He didn't complain once. He never lost his shit or anything. He was an absolute trooper, and he just fucking just kept going, and he was amazing really. And yeah, just I just wanted him to sound like as clear and well performed as he could do, and I think hopefully we sort of did that.
it is very. I mean, it's from my point of view, it's very clear and articulate. Like
Mm,
you could tell. I'm sure he won't mind me saying, but you could tell every word he's saying, and
yeah.
not always the way with Baz, because because he injects so much character and so much personality into everything, which is again that's amazing.
Mm,
Um, that was kind of tempered this time with the it sounding clear as well, which I think you make a good point. I think the last couple of albums, Colin and Chris did an amazing job, but the guitars are very forward in them albums, and they fight a lot the same frequencies, don't they, as the vocals? Whereas this time
yeah.
it seemed to, yeah, the vocals are well on top, but I think there's
Again,
something.
it's like a personal preference sort of thing, really. It go. This is fucking weird, right? But I'll tell it anyway. Weird story. I was in Florida one year in uh Universal City Walk, and they were playing stuff over the PA, like across the whole, open air sort of thing. And all the pop stuff that was coming on, I was like, I can fucking hear the vocal crystal clear. And they played a couple of like rock tracks. I was like, I'm struggling to listen to it. And like, I always think if you're trying to appeal to more people in the masses, you don't want to have to look to the vocal. That's the way that I thought of it. And I just made sure when I mixed this, I didn't want anyone to have to look to the vocal. I just want it to be right there. And I think that, if you crank it up on any system, you should be able to hear the fucking vocal like straight in your face. That's just the way that I sort of like
Yeah,
stuff. I know it's cool when loads of records have been mixed where the vocals are just notched in and they're sort of sat with everything else. But you know, it was it Frank Sinatra said, uh, what was it? Vocals are all about the money or something like that, uh,
all right, yeah, yeah, that's
pretty
fair
much.
point.
So, that's what 90% of people are going to listen to, and they do give a shit about the instruments, but that, you don't want anything to get, that was it. Vocals are the money and nothing gets in the way of the money. That's what he said.
Oh,
Uh, pretty much, but
we saw him
he's
down the
right,
Land Oak.
like, yeah,
He was in
yeah,
one night, having half a rum and black, but
yeah,
yeah, yeah. You know what? It's totally it's a fair comment. That is what people, whether they know it or not,
yeah.
when it comes to radio rock and
Hmm.
that's progressive kind of stuff, the vocals are the focal point,
Of
and
course
they
they
should
are.
be.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and like again, like listening to all the stuff that we were, sort of not imitating, but getting influence from, like Bon
yeah,
Jovi, Bryan Adams, Def Leppard, all the way back to even the Motorhead stuff and all that
yeah,
sort. The vocals are right up there, and I think yeah, why not? And
yeah.
yeah, I just but again, to do that, you've got to make sure the performance is bang on because a lot of times people tend to bury the vocals when they're a little bit ropey or
Hmm.
not quite right. So to have the vocals that loud in the mix, they've got to be performance wise, editing wise, tuning wise, everything like that, they've got to be bang on. But I think we got there in the end,
Yeah,
hopefully.
nailed it. Yeah, absolutely. I was obviously not being there around for that. It was always cool to come back in to do some more guitars and hear Baz being on there and
Mm,
what you'd done and the movements in the melodies and things that weren't there,
before,
before.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
That was cool, and that attention to detail was really really nice to hear, and it felt like Baz was pushing himself a lot, and he's been doing a lot of work
Mm.
with a great vocal mentor,
Coach.
coach. Yeah, that's the one. Alexander Pengler,
Yeah, I
uh,
follow her on
lovely.
Instagram now. I've sent some messages. It's
Oh dear,
really, really nice. Yeah, yeah.
fantastic. Yeah, we saw her in Hamburg.
Oh,
Yeah,
cool.
Hamburg a few weeks ago.
Mm,
Really cool. And she's so talented, and so yeah, all these elements have kind of combined to create a good recipe. And then yeah, so vocals got done. There was a question. Sorry, I scrolled
yeah, go
past
on.
it, so I can't remember who said it. But it was talking about the solos and how spontaneous they were, and how well some were fairly some,
Somewhere, some weren't. Yeah,
some were, yeah, and some were. There's a couple of solos on there that I'm sure are edited from about 50 different takes.
yeah, but
A
yeah, but
conservative.
the thing is, like, if you're writing something on the fly, it's you're making it up as you go, aren't you? So that's going to happen. There's nothing
And you
wrong
know
with
what?
that.
That's nothing new for us, to be honest. We've always been
Yeah,
pretty open about that process. It doesn't, you know, it doesn't always work like you have an idea and you can instantly play that idea flawlessly.
yeah,
Unless
yeah,
unless, unless you're pissed and coming back from the Land Open
yeah, exactly. Yeah,
at the time. But no, when it came to the solos, it was really just. get just doing whatever it took to get the result. So
Yeah, the one that springs to mind actually, Free and Easy, the solo after the second chorus was
Mhm.
actually done to different chords, wasn't it? And I said, I think it was. Do you know what? I don't know if it was I can't remember if it was a new chord sequence or it was going to the verse, but I was like, no, you just need to keep the chorus chords going and
Over the
have the
chorus, yeah,
guitar
you're right.
nearly mimic the vocal line,
That's
which it
right. That was
kind
one
of
of the,
does.
that
Yeah.
was one of the very first decisions actually I think you'd made, and that was before we'd even got to the point of recording the solos. You'd made that
Yeah.
call like way early on in the process, and then when it came to doing that solo, and it's funny you bring that one up. That's Stephen did that solo, and it's
Yeah.
honestly my favorite solo on the album. And
Yeah.
it's not
Same.
not the fastest or any
It's the
anything
most
like.
melodic, isn't it? I think. Well, it's
Just
just works.
every note is just it's the right note to play. So
Yeah.
fair play, the bastard. But there you go.
And the a cappella bit wasn't there either. We added that, didn't we? The like as a sing
Oh,
along
yeah,
sort of bit.
yeah.
That was added as well.
Just trying to get some more questions. Here we go. Oh no, there's no question here. It's just a nice comment about really love the flow of the album. There's no dead space between songs or too big of a lull between the big hooks. I've only had a couple of listens, but I'll get more in before Glasgow. So that's Jim Infinity video, and
Well, good. Thanks, Jim.
that's a mastering call though, isn't it? Like the space between songs, like literally a song finishes and the next one starts.
Oh yeah, that's not me. Yeah. That was
Oh,
Ted.
but that's part of the whole
Yeah, the
creative
flow
thinking.
of it. Yeah,
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 thinking of those details. It's right. A song finishes and then there's a second pause and then you're away again.
yeah. Mhm.
I've always liked that. AC/DC
Yeah,
is effective.
yeah,
Uh,
definitely. Yeah.
Dan, our good mate German Dan, who runs the German Massive Wagons fan group. If
Hello,
you if
German Dan.
you want to go join it, go find it on Facebook.
Yeah, man. Yeah, yeah.
What was the thought process on the sound of the backing vocals harmonies? Is it to give the lead vocals more room as well? Because they sound more like pads than actual vocals. So
Can we can we talk about this? Can we be honest about this?
yeah, yeah, go for it, mate. Yeah, yeah.
All right, cool. So we ran out of time pretty much, and um I was in a band back in the day, a pop punk band, and the singer of that band and I have worked together for 25 years and know each other like the back of our hands. And he's an incredible do that, and he'll do it perfectly in like one or two takes. Likewise, he comes up with great ideas as well. So Ben actually did all of the backing vocals on this record because we ran out of time. And you're exactly right. I deliberately didn't want, because it was someone else doing the backing vocals, I didn't want him to come through anywhere near as clear as Baz because I didn't want to take the focus off Baz. So I did actually EQ quite a bit of the presence out of the backing vocals. If you listen to it now, you'll probably notice that. So they do come across more like pads, but that was pretty much what they were meant to do anyway. Like, especially if you listen to Free and Easy, for example, that was something in my head when I heard the demo. I thought that could sound like an Eaglesy sort of song with like a three-part
Yeah.
harmony. And but again, it's like the presence is scooped out, so it's almost like a warm hug instead of a vocals in your face
Yeah,
attack sort of thing.
it's
But
like I think this was something else you said. It's almost like a synth, really, that rather
yeah,
than
yeah, yeah.
it's kind of an airy wash
Hmm.
rather than rather than like a oh kind of chorus of gang chorus
Yeah,
kind of.
exactly. I mean, like if I'd have EQ'd the vocals and treated them like I would usually treat a backing vocal, it would be like your album featuring someone else, which isn't what it was about. It was literally just a
Yeah, well,
it was
it
just a
worked
back
well.
baz up basically. That was literally all it was. Yeah.
Yeah. There's a couple more coming through now.
Hmm.
Was it a difficult process deciding the order of the tracks? Now, I know I
You
don't
tell
know
me.
exactly, but I don't know if because I've not actually asked you yet. What do you think of the order of the tracks?
I think it's great. I really wanted Call Like a Fox to be the first track because that's why we wrote it.
Yeah.
But I am used to it now, and I think the running order is great. I think it's really good.
I think the compromise was that's like on a vinyl. It's like the
Hmm.
first track of the side of the
Yeah, yeah,
second
yeah.
side. Um,
What is the first
so
track
yeah,
of?
I think
Oh, we
Sleep
got okay,
Forever.
cool. Yeah, yeah. So
So
all we
I
got is the
think
first of them. Yeah.
we gave a couple of options that were like it's going to be one of these. Like we're going to insist on just a hard hitting track to be the first song on the album. So
Yeah,
it could
yeah.
have been Sleep Forever, Cool Like a Fox, maybe not Rabbit Hole. That might have scared a
It
few
was
folk
it
off.
was between those two, really, wasn't it? I
Yeah,
think I
but
can't.
either
Yeah,
of them two. So I think more people just leaned more towards Sleep, and the compromise was, well, we'll just put that at track 7, so then it's opening the second side of the vinyl. So
yeah,
um, but it's not really yeah. It's obvious. It's very important. Of course, it's very important. I'm not saying it ain't important, but it's less important than it used to be now in the world of
yeah.
digital music. People
Absolutely.
scroll to the song they want to hear. They're not getting the bloody gramophone out and
Yeah,
on and having to listen to a bunch of stuff to get to the thing. It's just
yeah.
it just doesn't matter as much. And
No.
but yeah, I like the running order on this one. I think it flows really well. The kind of tone just goes and moves up and down in the right places. I like the fact that we have this 1-2 of Sleep Forever first and then Missing on TV.
Hmm.
Two quite contrasting kind of songs, but they sort of showcase both sides of the album,
Yeah,
really.
yeah, yeah.
The other.
Well, bringing on to that point, let's talk singles. The idea that I had was a Def Leppard Hysteria-esque. Can we get 7 singles out of the album? And so
Yeah, you did. Yeah.
out of the 4, the other 3 would have been possibly all we got, Cool Like a Fox, and Fun While It Lasted. Right? Is
Yeah,
that right?
yeah, that's right.
Yeah, those 3. Yeah. So we kind of did it.
And there was of the other two songs that never got properly finished. I
Mm.
think it was called the working title was Hearts at Home, I
Oh
think.
yeah, that could have been great, but we just couldn't come up with a decent enough vocal melody,
Yeah, it just
kind of.
well, and then Night Skies came along.
Yeah, that was it, and there was no point in having 2 ballads, right? Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, and it would have stepped on his toes, so we focused
yeah.
attention on that. But I remember initially being quite high hopes for that one. But
Mm.
it's so funny in it, like how songs you go in thinking like this is one of the big ones, this is going to be a big one, and it ends up not. It's being like so not so weak, but to the point where you're leaving it out because
You're leaving it
it's
out,
there's so
yeah.
much.
Well,
Yeah,
that was the thing. Like, I completely agree with you. When you sent the demos over, I thought Hearts at Home would be probably the one, but then when Night Skies came up, it was just so much better. We just completely binned it. Another couple of interesting facts for Night Skies. Baz, we sent him the instrumental, and he sent me back just a voice note of him singing, and I listened to it, and I was like, "It's good, but something's not right." And he basically sang the whole thing like 2 bars early. If that makes
yeah,
sense. So if you took the whole verse and dragged it back, and it was kind of hitting on the wrong button. I was like, Baz, what you've done is great, but just shift it to,
just the back
and
of it.
it because he had it in his head because he wrote it like that. He was even doing it while we were tracking, so everything he was singing, I was getting it and just shifting it 2 bars forward, like to
Really?
leave the
Oh
yeah
no.
to leave the gaps for the da da da. But I hadn't played those bits in yet, so he didn't know that you should be
There
leaving
was gonna
space for those gaps and stuff. And same with the chorus as well. The idea in my head was to do like I don't know if I should say this because people might hear it when they hear it, but the idea in my head for the chorus was that the I don't wanna go was the Fleetwood Mac, you can go your own way, and
Yeah,
just
oh
do a
no, don't worry, we've had
variation
that
of that.
already.
All right,
Yeah, yeah.
okay, all right, sweet. Well,
People,
there,
don't
yeah,
worry,
there
people
you
come up
go.
all the time and go, that it sounds a bit like that Fleetwood Mac song.
Oh, there you go. There. Well, yeah, cover blown. Yeah, that was the
They
idea, pretty much.
they don't need the money. It's all right. It's
No,
yeah.
exactly. Yeah, yeah.
But no, I think
Great song, though.
yeah, it is just it's just that was nice for me to be able to come back in and hear, like in the case of Night Skies.
I
And
remember playing it to you actually, and you were sat on the to the right of me, and
yeah,
then I remember you listened to the verse and the chorus, and you were like, "Yeah, it's fucking good that." And I remember thinking, "Okay, sweet, I've got your approval. It's nice."
yeah, it was. I mean, honestly, I was gobsmacked how good it was because we'd done the arrangement. We'd basically wrote the song in an hour or two, arrangement
Yeah.
wise with Alex.
Hmm.
Got the drums done. I put some guide guitar down. The next thing I heard was pretty much, was coming in to finish the guitars, and Baz had done his thing, and it was just like, oh yeah, I didn't see that coming at all. Everything about the build, the pre-chorus, all the little one, the ding ding, the ching chimey
Yeah,
thing that
yeah,
did on the acoustics when they all went in. I mean, I heard it before we'd put them in, but you could just hear it in your head what
yeah.
what what it needed to do, and yeah, it's very cool. Really, really loved it. Really loved hearing a song come together in that way, which has never kind of happened before, really.
I should call myself Mutt O'Grady for that
Well,
one
great,
song.
yeah, yeah. Questions. How did you get that guitar? It's from Rob Gent. How did you get that guitar sound on Sleep Forever? It's amazing. Same.
You, we used the pedal, didn't we? Um, Slight bit more overdrive. I'm sure we did.
Just
Just
the tube
for the
screamer.
rhythms, or was it just for Rabbit Hole? Can't remember what pedal it was. I remember, fucking hell, what was it?
Oh, I
It
can't
was
remember.
obviously through the same amp, but I'm sure we had like, I'm sure that was a extra tiny bit of extra like tube screamer or something.
As well as
It wasn't.
your
Yeah.
tube.
No, just a tube screamer.
Yeah, we just had your Demon Effects.
That was
Uh,
it.
yeah,
I had
tube.
two, and I gave you one.
Did which I've been using live ever since you give me it. It's
Oh,
great.
nice, sweet, wicked,
Really good pedal.
cool.
Um, but yeah, it was the same as the rest of the album, really. It
Yeah,
was
yeah,
just
yeah. But
900
with the tube screamer, yeah,
with the tube screamer on,
yeah,
with everything pointing up. Probably that's
yeah,
it would have
pretty much.
tweaked too much. But yeah, that like 95% of the guitar sound is that,
Hmm.
other than the Night Skies, which was done on that Kemper,
Yeah,
um, the lead bit on the
and
Kemper,
the Rockman
and the
at
Rockman,
first.
which for those who don't know, it's the Boston. Is it Tom Schultz? Is that what it's
That's the
called?
one. Yeah.
He designed this thing in the 80s, and it's kind of got a chorus and a delay built in, and it's
Hmm.
weird. It's like a little plastic thing, all digital.
Yeah, tiny. It's
And
like that big.
yeah, and it's light as anything. It's like a lunchbox,
Yeah.
and it's the sound of Hysteria. It's
Hmm.
like sounds like anything off Hysteria. So we use that fairly judiciously in in the
Yeah.
uh, in the album, and
Only on clean. We didn't use the overdrive from it. I don't
we
think.
did. No, it was just just the So that's what the Night Skies intro, the arpeggio is on, isn't it?
Hmm.
So yeah, but I think so mastering, we'll get onto that.
Yeah.
We followed your recommendation
Hmm.
and used a fellow. I'll let you explain who we used for mastering.
So I wanted to use a guy called Ted Jensen. If you're not aware of him, Google Ted Jensen mastering, and if you look at his discography, he's probably got the best discography out of
Yeah,
anyone in the world. It's absolutely ridiculous the stuff that he's done. I won't even start to list it, but it's the reason that I like him as well. He doesn't focus on one genre. He does rock, he does pop, he does soul, like everything is just fucking amazing. And he used to be based in. Someone asked me actually the other day, "What's your obsession with Nashville?" It's like it's got fuck all to do with Nashville. It's like the guy worked in New York for ages, but now they've got a second place in Nashville, and he just happened to work there. I would have got him to do it if he lived down the road. You know what I mean? He's like
Yeah,
he's that
yeah,
good. The location's not important. But again, because of what we're going for, the mastering as well. We were talking about mixing earlier and compression and stuff. The mastering as well. A lot of mastering engineers nowadays, again, limit and slam the shit out of everything and crush it. But he just does virtually. I don't know how he does it. He just makes everything loud. He's got an amazing ear to EQ the whole track in a way that complements everything, and he's just fucking brilliant. So yeah, and thank you for actually going with it as well, because
yeah.
I know Earache wanted to use their guy, but yeah,
Yeah, well, I mean, it was important to us because like it's like the other side of the it you know it should never just like
you don't
just
want to
like
fuck the last 10% up. Yeah,
exactly yeah
basically,
yeah
yeah,
it can either really because it can wreck it as well. It
yeah,
can
yeah, of course,
take
yeah.
away from the work that you've done.
Mm.
So
But all of us, yeah.
it was a I'm perfectly happy to follow to follow like the engineer producers kind of guide when it comes to who they like to to master their mixes because you know it's a relation it's another relationship that has
Yeah,
to
yeah.
with it. But we had the same with the last album. Triggered was mastered by More Applebaum, who's
Hmm.
again he's like a name, and uh, and Chris and Colin said, we really like this guy, so it was like, well, let's go for it. But yeah,
Yeah,
Ted.
sweet.
I mean, I didn't like you mentioned it. His credentials are just ridiculous. I mean,
Ridiculous, yeah.
uh, so what was it? I mean, we weren't going to reel them all off, but we could name a few.
Everything.
Hotel
Oh God,
California.
Hotel California, the Eagles, American Idiot, Green Day,
Yeah.
um, Bon Jovi, Madonna.
Yeah.
God, yeah, I can't even think.
Just if you've got an hour
Everything.
to read through everything he's done.
Read through to yeah. And by the way, the only one that you can find online is his selective
He's got
discography as
everything, is
well,
it?
which
Yeah,
is
yeah,
fucking massive. And there's some of my favorite albums like Riot by Paramore, which I think sounds fucking amazing. And he hasn't even got that on there, the
no,
selective one. So yeah, he's just brilliant. He's
yeah.
fantastic.
It was a good call. Well, again, it's just a confidence thing. You just knew that what was going to come back was going to be
Yeah,
was so yeah, it
yeah,
was good.
definitely, man.
Not a million miles away from doesn't take what you've done and change it.
No, but that's the
Just
best thing because a lot of
improve it.
people do. Yeah, you're absolutely right. Yeah, and that's why so many people use him because, like you said, mastering can fuck the whole rest of it up, but he actually improves it and does it time and time again, and that's why people use him.
Yep. Yeah. Well, he's going to retire soon, isn't he? I believe.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I think he's 71, so that's why he's put his fucking prices up. But I don't blame him.
Yeah, but that's also kind of cool as well. I like the fact that um we're a part of his history as well. In
Yeah, man. Yeah,
small
definitely.
in a small way, but it's good though. You know,
Yeah, absolutely.
he'll go into retirement happily knowing he's done a Massive Wagons album. That's I'm sure
Yeah, he can retire happy now,
he can
can't he? Of course
retire
he
now.
can.
That's what he's been hanging around for all this time.
Yeah.
But yeah, any more questions? Why did Punk at Heart and OCD ended up being bonus tracks? Why not make it 13 regular tracks?
I
Um,
think 11's the right
yeah,
amount for an album, really, to be
I,
honest.
I I know I'm gonna put my neck on the line here, but
Go on.
I push I push for the 11 track thing.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
just think you get to 40 minutes of music, which is what 11 tracks was, just over 40 minutes.
Hmm.
People's attention starts to
Yeah,
wander at that
agree.
point.
Yeah.
And I never, I would never want to consign the songs to the vault and just never. I knew that wouldn't happen. So
No.
it's like, let's make the core version of the album just 11, and then inevitably there's going to be bonus editions and
Hmm.
all this kind of stuff. But yeah, I wanted to make that kind of core thing 11 tracks just because it just felt like
11's enough, man. 11's
really
enough, yeah.
bookending it with the heavier kind of faster songs. It just felt
Exactly.
like
Yeah. Yeah, I was going to say, yeah. I mean, the only two songs that are
yeah,
that tempo are first and
right.
11th. So yeah, works perfect. Yeah.
There's a nice symmetry to it, But
Mm,
I think 11's right, and I've talked to people I have met, peers of mine, like people I greatly admired, had success in the past, and I've talked to them about any regrets, the change and things, and a few of them have said, this album or this album, we got a bit self-indulgent and
yeah.
they were like 50 minutes or an hour long,
Yeah.
and they're like that was a mistake at that time. It wasn't punchy enough. I'm not talking about prog bands here. I'm talking about like rock bands whose
I can give you a classic example. Use Your Illusion 1 and 2. If they condensed both those albums down to one album, it would have been fucking killer. But,
yeah.
you know, it ends up half feather, doesn't it?
Well,
But
yeah, I mean, yeah, again, I'm sticking my neck out again here, and I like Guns N' Roses, but
yeah.
you could probably make one good album out of them two. There's a
Yeah,
lot
exactly.
of
Yeah.
shit on those two albums.
Yeah.
Shotgun Blues, come on, I
Yeah.
mean, that's cack.
Yeah.
Sorry,
There was a
sorry,
lot there was a lot of shit on those two albums, yeah.
yeah,
A lot.
but so yeah, I think that's a good takeaway. But have you got any other things you'd like to share or any other?
Um, no, not really. No, not really too amazing.
I don't
I'm
want to take.
just I'm really happy the way it turned out, and I'm really pleased that everyone likes it because I told you I was apprehensive that people were gonna go, oh, this fucking pop punk guys fucking made
Yeah,
our band commercial fucking pop shit and this, that, and the other, which has happened a couple of times on things I've done in the past. But I'm glad that everyone likes it and everyone's receptive to it. And yeah, I'm just thank you very much to everyone that's bought it and likes it.
yeah. Well, I mean, you can only do what you do, mate, and I never got that. Like when so it's happened through history with a lot of bands, and they go, "Oh yeah, why? That band were never, that album was rubbish because he ruined him, or she ruined
Yeah,
him, producer, that producer ruined him." It's like, well, the band chose that producer,
yeah,
and a producer like should have a kind of sound and should have a signature, and that's why we came to you, because we liked your signature. So um I think it's paid off. I really do,
I think it sounds, without blowing our own collective drums, I think it sounds fucking great. And yeah,
it,
I'm just yeah, I'm
it's
really
just been
pleased
a
with
big
it. And
circle jerk, this thing, hasn't it? We've just been sat here picking our own
yeah, exactly. Yeah, we go fucking hell, fucking narcissistic fucking pricks.
I'm sickening. Uh,
Yeah,
but no, I'm really happy with the album. And people who know me,
damn, man, same.
I don't just say that because it's something we've done. It's I'm quite self-critical, and
I remember you saying when we got the masters back, you were like, it sounds better than I thought it would. And I was like, is that good? Is that a compliment? I don't
hey,
know.
did I
Yeah,
really say that?
yeah.
That's terrible. I'm sorry, mate. I don't.
That's all right.
Sounds better than I thought it would. Well,
Yeah.
what a backhanded bloody thing to say.
No,
I
but
don't.
I suppose if you haven't had anything mastered by Ted before, you don't know what you're going to get back, do you? I guess, in terms
Yeah,
of the relation from how the mix changes to the master. But I don't
yeah,
know.
exactly. Maybe I meant there was more of a kind of improve. You know, the degree of
Improvement was greater than you'd expected. Yeah,
I'm just digging myself into a fucking hole
yeah. Yeah,
here.
I know, and I'm trying to help you. Love it.
No, it was good. One last question, because
Yeah, yeah,
this Ben Powell, he did ask twice and I missed it the first time.
yeah, man. Go on.
Why do you record everything separately rather than have the whole band play live?
Lots of
Well,
reasons.
we're not gonna do
Spill
that.
being the main one. Spill being the main one. Plus, it's just degrees of fucking up, really. If you've got five people doing the same thing. If one of them fucks up, you got to go again. It's just you get you get better performances basically, and you can isolate the performances. It's simple as that, really. I remember chatting to my nan, right, years ago. She passed away now, but when I was in the band like 20 years ago, she was the. This is how naive she is about music, right? So I was in a band, and our album just came out, and she turned around on me one day, like genuinely, went, "Why don't you just go on Top of the Pops?" Like
Yeah.
that. Like, all right, Top of the Pops, yeah, can we just come on,
Yeah.
sort of thing. Fucking ridiculous. But again, she said, "Oh, how long did you take to record your album?" I was like, "Oh, it's like a month." A month? But the songs are only 3 minutes long. And I was thinking, yeah, you don't. It's the same thing as like a movie takes like 6 months to get made. It's like, yeah, but the film's only 2.5 hours. It's like that's not the fucking point. Like, like it's all, yeah,
You
it is
know,
what it is, isn't it?
I mean, believe like I don't know what the collective time of the tracking phase of the album was. Maybe four,
It
three,
was
4 weeks.
40 day. Oh, sorry, tracking. So 'cause I'm
Tracking.
mixing like 30 days, maybe 32
Yeah,
days.
so about 4 weeks a
Yeah,
month. But that's by modern standards to record,
that's pretty good.
13 songs. It's not bad, really.
Well, it was
Just
15 that we did, really, wasn't it?
yeah, yeah.
With the
So
two that got not finished.
not just saying it, not just continuing the self ass kissing kind of thing, but we don't spend as much time as a lot of bands do
No,
on
no,
recording.
not at all.
But the reason why the reason why it works like that, Ben, really is just yeah, like Matt said, it's practical reasons really, and also not being good enough reasons. To,
Plus, there's sorry, man. I'm just gonna say little things like the drums. You end up inevitably quantizing, right? So if you're playing everything live,
Mhm.
if you want to go down that route, then you're playing to unquantize things that are going to be quantized later, so it's not going to work anyway for that reason alone.
It's just the modern like
Yeah,
I imagine you encounter this sort of attitude a lot where oh uh like bands these days they're just not as good as they used to be as um why don't they just all this kind of putting timing making timing corrections and things here and there. It's like, oh,
yeah,
it's just because it's like, okay then, well, let's make an album and not do any of that, or get any band in the world to do that and not do any of that. It will not stand up to modern
no,
standards of
no, you're
production.
right.
It
Yeah,
will, doesn't matter who the band is,
hmm
it will not sound good. It just won't sound competitive to what is out there at the minute.
yeah,
And
yeah.
you listen to it in the Rolling Stones new stuff, it's all over it. I mean, I don't know. It's just the way modern music
Just the
sounds.
way it is. Yeah,
The way it is.
fucking deal with
Yeah, yeah.
it.
I don't think it's. I think it was a genuine
No,
question.
no, no. Sorry, that was the first. No, I was just being in
Fucking
general.
deal
Yeah.
with it, Ben.
No, sorry, Ben. I wasn't aimed at you, man. I was.
No, no, but yeah, you're right. It's just the way it is. But I've been, you see it online, not necessarily directed at us, but you see this kind of Deep Purple, and I love these bands, and they were recording in hotel corridors and things like that,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
takes and that. But it's like, yeah, but while it's amazing, it doesn't sound anything like a modern production. You know what I
yeah.
mean? And if you put that out now, people just won't accept it. You'll never get on
No,
the
no, they
radio.
won't.
You'll never get, that's just not how it works, I'm afraid. So
Yeah, yeah. You're right.
yeah. Anyway, I'll let you get back to the football, mate.
Cool. All right. Yeah. 1-0 half time. So it's all good.
1-0. Yeah. Been great. It's been great talking. I really appreciate your time and
That's all right, man.
your
No
effort,
worries.
you know, putting up with us for a month and
No, man, not at
dealing
all. It
with
was a pleasure. I absolutely love doing it. Like, honestly, I know I've said it before, but I had the most fun doing this album out of any album that I've done, I think, just mainly because it was just something different. Because I usually do pop punk and stuff, and like this is right up my street. And yeah, just you, all of you, were a pleasure to work with. Just yeah, really enjoyed it, man. Thanks for having me.
Thank you so much. I've got to do it.
Go on.
One last push for the album.
Yeah.
If you haven't got it, and send a link to everyone you know. We've got a few hours left. Really appreciate the last few sales. You know, I hate. I really. It's not about the, it's. I'm really not saying it about the chart. I want you to. I want you to get the album if you haven't got it because I think it's a
Oh,
great.
I'm saying about the chart.
Yeah, Matt.
Oh, yeah, good. Well,
Matt will
whatever.
do the yeah, yeah. He's like the
Yeah.
devil on his shoulder. But I genuinely think you'll like it if you're into rock, punk, pop, even. And you know someone who might like it. Just go on, give him a nudge right now, and
Buy some Christmas
we'll
presents for everyone that you know. There you
love
go.
you forever. But whatever the result is tomorrow, I say on behalf of everyone in the band and our team,
And from
Terry
me.
and everyone, we really really appreciate your support and all the
Yes,
positive
thank you.
comments. It really does make it all makes it all worthwhile, And we'll hopefully see you out in a gig in a couple of weeks.
Yes,
You're coming to Bristol, aren't you?
I'm coming to Bristol and Birmingham with my old band.
Oh yeah, you're coming to Birmingham now. Yeah,
Yeah,
so
man.
we'll keep an eye out for Matt.
Yes, say hello, anyone, if you want to chat some shit with me.
Yeah, give him lots of abuse for turning us
Yeah,
into
yeah, yeah,
another pop punk,
yeah.
band. But
Yeah.
really appreciate it, guys. Keep the faith and see you soon.